Oh my goodness, what's going on? It's Janice Lala. What's going on? It's Music Therapy Laz here on this side. That's me. Hold on, let me see, guys. Oh my god, my nephew thought this was the funniest thing. That's right. What is happening, everybody, this Sunday morning here in California? Where are you at, Janice Lala?
How do you make that laughing sound without touching it?
Oh, I touched it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I have to touch it. Anyway, sorry. Oh, I'm starting to lose power. Some sounds don't work. Some of them work, some of them don't. I don't know why. But hey, what's up, everybody? It is Music Therapy Labs with Janice with us. She's got an industrial fan on over there because it's hot over there. And where are you at, Janice? Tell everybody.
Stamford, Connecticut.
Connecticut. Why don't they say
Fairfield County.
Connecticut?
Actually, I'm in the
Don't give them your
appendage.
address, Janice.
I'm in the appendage.
She's in the appendage, whatever that means.
Well,
What's
you
up?
look at this. It's like how Amanda has her hand up here
Yeah.
and down here. Well, Connecticut is here, and,
Uh-huh.
and there's an offshoot over here.
Uh-huh.
That's where I am. But I really
Okay.
call it in the penis.
You call it the appendage, or some call it the offshoot.
The penis.
Oh.
If you turn
See,
sideways,
unfortunately,
it's like,
that button's not working for me right now.
if you turn sideways, that's what it kind of like looks at, like an Alfred Hitchcock movie.
Oh my God, we're getting off to a grand start here on the Music is Therapy show, as you all know. Hopefully, my laugh track will continue working throughout. It's already starting to cut off. I got to get a new battery. But what's up, everybody? Here we are, Music Therapy Labs and Janice Lala for Connecticut, in the appendage of a Connecticut. And we have a bunch of people here, probably streaming in from Charles 75N's Safari Show with Seth. And I think Seth is a Bay Area guy, from
I
what I
have an announcement
understand.
to make.
Seth, are you here? Are you
I have
like
an
you got
announcement to make.
an announcement? Okay, hold on. Seth, if you're from the Bay Area, we gotta get connected, man. Gotta connect up. And then Ryan Hall, I don't know why, but whenever you write out Blackjack Guitar, it like blocks. YouTube doesn't like your name. I don't know why, Blackjack Guitar, but I chose to show it, but somebody else already held it for review.
And hit
Did
it.
you do that?
Somebody
Who
hit
held
it.
it for
Somebody's
review?
been hiding it all along. Like all
No.
last week, somebody hit it.
Oh my God.
Another
Okay.
moderator
Well, whoever's
managed the
octopus
chat.
ears, if you're using that wrench, be careful. Make sure you don't block Blackjack Guitar. Okay. Go ahead and show Ryan Hall's Black. There he is. There he is. Blackjack Guitar. Saying hi to
Everyone's.
Patty. So let's say hi to everybody. And you guys, today's show is going to be rather interesting
So
for
what about my
the.
announcement?
Okay, go
I
announce.
went through the whole thing of Werther's without biting it.
Whoa! So like with the little ones or the big ones? You guys know what she's talking about? Those are my mom's favorite candies, and Mother's Day is already over, and her birthday's not until January, so she gets no gifts unless we want to be just nice to her, which we are often. But yeah, she doesn't bite them either. My sweetie,
They're
she'll bite
very
down on everything.
therapeutic, aren't they?
You know,
They
lots
work
of sugar
wonders.
though. Too much
I
sugar
know.
for. Yeah, I gotta stop. I gotta stop that kind of stuff. I'm having nowadays in my coffee. By the way, that's my Bowie Ziggy
Oh,
cup right
nice.
there. In my Bowie cup here, I actually don't have as much sugar as I used to. I used to put like a whole like teaspoon. Now it's like the tip of the teaspoon. It's like maybe a quarter teaspoon at the most, and I'm getting used to it. But I can't get off of the half and half. I've got to have the creaminess. I've tried everything. I actually will do oat milk and half, but I don't think I'm really doing myself any good service that way because anyway, we're digressing
That that,
as
in- that
usual.
internet that internet doctor says that oat milk is not good for
Well, I think it's because all these things have sugar in them too.
you. Right.
Anything that tastes good, guess why? Sugar. Anyway, Mr. Mick also saying hi to Blackjack Guitar. Hopefully someone, it says held for review. I don't want to hold that for review. I want to show it, and I'm in charge. Dang it. Anyway, some other moderators said that they did handle it too. Who's the other moderator? You and Octopus
L&M is here too.
Whitey just doesn't like Blackjack Guitar's name. Dude, just show it. Hit show. Anyway, whatever's happening. It says another moderator is handling it, but who? It's some secret moderator. Again, who's in control is the big question of the day, right?
Yes, the brain.
Right. The brain, but who's in control of the brain? Isn't it your brain? Aren't you in control of your brain, Janice? Don't you think that you control your brain? I want to talk about that. I want to dig deep into your brain about.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I want to dig deep. I want to talk about what you wanted to talk about from the very first show more, which is the stuttering thing. How is it
Oh,
that
I have no problem with that now.
now? Yes,
It's the
but
other people that intimidate me is the problem.
yeah, but when they intimidate you and they upset you and you start thinking about it, that's when it gets worse, right? Why is that?
He's out of the picture right now.
Yeah. So why is that? How is it that the brain does that? And how is it that music, for example, is one of those things that can calm that and can keep that from happening? How is that music that affects your brain? How is it that affects your brain in a way that can calm your nerves? You know, we were talking
Well,
about PTSD last time with
like the
soldiers.
musical training,
Mm-hmm.
you put your mouth in certain positions to be able
Mm-hmm.
to push out the sound.
Yeah.
Like certain things, like when you sing, you have to uh, throw your voice out to the top of your teeth.
Uh-huh. I haven't heard that one. The top of your
It,
teeth.
top of
Ah,
your teeth, so that the pitch goes higher up and stuff like that. The way that
interesting.
you move your mouth to form the words.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's better when you're singing, when you're following a
Right?
pattern where it's a flow. But anything
Exactly.
goes when you're speaking.
And I think I heard someone was talking about this in one of the shows. It might have been one of Johnny's shows. I'm not sure, but it's that your singing voice is actually much different than your actual talking voice. So, oh, you know what it was? I was watching Trey Xavier's show. You ever watch the Gong show that he does? So Trey Xavier went to college here at Sonoma State, and I think he moved to LA now. And he's got a show, and he's a musician, and he has like a teaching program on how to write songs, and recently did that funny thing with Henning about, hey, I have a program teaching people how to write songs. How dare you come out with your teaching songs thing, Henning? And so the thing is that what he was talking about is that in one of his shows, trying to tell people what they're doing wrong and how to improve their music that they're producing for themselves or others, right? How to make better songs. He was talking about this one guy. He's fairly new to singing. He says, one of the things you might want to do is get a singing coach, because you sound more like you're talking rather than you're singing. And one of the differences
It's
is
like
that
talking
when
in
you
tones.
yeah. And also, like, when you're singing, you hold the words and the notes, you hold them longer. And this guy was singing like this, like talking like this and singing like this, and not really letting it out and singing his songs and everything connecting and looking or sounding more, extended and stuff. And so that's one of the difference, that no one would talk like that because it'd be weird. But if you didn't sing that way, that would be weird because it doesn't work, right? So there's a difference in your singing voice and your talking voice. Those are some of those things. But yeah, I was interested in your case, how music helped you with issues of stuttering and things like that, and how, for example, when you learn to play guitar and sing and play, that's something that a lot of people have trouble with in the
I don't
beginning,
understand why.
right? So when
I'm,
you first started doing that, how did you figure it out?
it, it, it just it just happened. I don't know.
It just happened.
It's like when they talk about the like me being lefty but playing righty. It's just how
Hmm.
you're taught,
Right,
how you start. And so
right,
I started with just singing and playing at the same time. So that's
right.
how it kind of like natural for me. And right now I'm trying, because I could play without singing, but I can't sing without play, because I need to have that movement of my body to keep me in
In the
check.
movement.
Like right now, I'm working on singing without playing, and I'm doing this one song that's "Love That It Is" by Blamage, and
Oh yeah, that's that song you
and
were telling me
I
about.
need to make gestures to be able
Hmm.
to push out the words, and like I'm pointing to the lyrics to keep myself in check with where I gotta go. Like I being like I'm doing a ball that's bouncing.
The bouncing ball thing.
The
Yeah, it's
bouncing ball
interesting how
thing.
your brain almost requires your body to move to music too when you're doing it. Like look at Nuno Betancourt in that solo, and when he's playing that solo. Have you guys seen the video of
No,
him
I
playing
haven't
that
seen it.
solo or the whole song? I mean, he's moving his body and he's like into it like that. He's just like and do
Exactly.
you think he's planning any of that movement? Do you think he choreographed that? Do you think he like figured out, oh, how am I going to move to this one note here, and am I going to do this at this note or that at that
Yes.
note or what?
Yes.
No, this not planned out, Janice. No, none of it's
Di-
planned out. The body just
It's, it's,
moves.
it's, it's planned out in here.
Well, that's the question. Is that
That's the
if that's
question.
your brain, like I'm asking you again, if that is your brain, then you should be in charge of it, don't you think? Aren't you in control of your brain? If it's not you, then what is making you move that way and why? And who's in charge then? Really?
The rhythm.
You know? Yeah, but why? How is it controlling you? Or
Well, they did.
is music controlling you? Are you in are you under the control of music all of a sudden? It's like, can you not control yourself? Can you not stop
That's
yourself?
like what my friend in California told me. What Mike Hammer, his name was, when we were all standing around smoking a joint one time,
Uh-huh.
and I was saying, well, I really can't do all that stuff when I'm stoned. And so he says no, it doesn't control you. You control it. So I guess
Hmm.
maybe there's some things about controlling things that are self controlled.
Right. So when you see a little kid that's never, like you've seen those reaction videos and see these little babies and little kids like reacting to music and dancing around and stuff like that, do you think that they learned that from someone watching someone else dancing around like that, or do you think that it's just they're moving their bodies because the music something moves them?
Well, you know how they say that animals have instinct.
Hmm.
Why can't humans have instinct? We're
Well, we
animals too,
do.
right?
We do. It's very powerful. Is a matter of fact. The very interesting thing about this is that a lot of this, like I talked about in previous shows too, has a lot to do with our very basic instincts, our very basic behavioral patterns, very basic parts of what it means and what's important in being human and how to survive as a human in the society or culture or group, whatever size group you're in. And very few human beings actually survive or do well when they're alone. And because we're a social type of animal, we thrive and find more meaning and purpose in life when we are in a group. And then we start finding specific talents or skills that we have that are part of our like you say instincts or DNA or nature. Like, how is it that I'm so musical? Does it have something to do with a family member prior to me that it's in the genes? It's genetic? Absolutely. There's got to be something to that. Have we found those parts in the brain, specifically yet? No, we haven't figured out a lot about that stuff out yet. Right? We haven't like I think we've found out that the sequencing DNA doesn't mean that we understand exactly how is it that you can sing versus someone else who can't sing, who doesn't have a good voice. Same vocal cords and things like that, maybe, but there's something about their ability to hear and sing on note. And how is it some people can't sing, but then they learn to sing and then they find their voice. Like my cousin Joe, I remember telling him in the beginning when he used to come to our studio when he was a young teenager, preteen teenager, and blew out his knees playing baseball, basically playing catcher too much because he was so good. And what happens is his uh, one of his baseball playing buddies play guitar, and he started coming over to my studio and says, "Dude, you got to get into guitar if you can't do sports anymore, because you want to be popular, or at least have something going on." And so he came over to the studio and started learning guitar, but he started singing, and his singing was terrible. But then he finally found his voice. And I remember telling him, "Dude, just don't sing, play guitar." It was bad advice at the time. I didn't know better. I was only 30 something. But now he can write, sing songs, and it's amazing because he's found his voice, right? And so it's an amazing thing what music can do. like I was getting to about like stuttering and that kind of thing. How is it that people that sometimes stutter and have all kinds of other problems? People like we were talking about in the previous show, people that have you know problems like Parkinson's can't keep their hands from shaking, but they start playing piano and they're able to play. They're able to sing and do stuff. Otherwise, they're like stuttering and all this kind of
Yes,
stuff
true.
because but somehow something happens. And what it is and what's very fascinating about this, and I'll have a video for you guys, and what's very fascinating about this is that it has to do with actually not trying to control what you're doing, which is counterintuitive to what we think. It's actually letting go. But there's the one other side of it, the other aspect of it. There has to be some level of practiced learning of the skill that you're going to be doing before you can get to that let go moment. And so I'll tell you guys a story about my sweetie, but I was going to ask you, like, that's why I asked you about the guitar and singing. When did you start singing when you were playing guitar? Did you right away, as you're playing guitar, you're singing as you're playing right from the
Immediately.
beginning?
Immediately.
That's very interesting because I've never heard anyone tell me that's what they did. Uh, but it's probably why. It was just to you, the two immediately had to be together, and there was no two ways about it, and you just started singing and playing it together at the same time, right?
Well, I was just going along with the music book,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the first song that I really ever played was "Shine a Light" by the Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah. You should actually, can you? No, maybe you can't. Probably I would have to do it. It'd be cool to play one of your videos where you're singing. I wonder if you can do that. Can you put that into the chat, or do I have to do that somehow? I probably have to. Well, you have a wrench, right? But
I
you'd
wouldn't
have to
know
go
how
to
to do the
YouTube.
I wouldn't know how to do that right now, would I?
I could do it. I'll do it after I show the other video. After I show the other video, we'll do that. But let's say hi to everyone in the chat first. Thank you all for coming. Sorry we're ignoring you. We didn't mean to. There's 29 people in here. That's awesome. For a Sunday morning here, Sunday afternoon. Sunday. Sunday afternoon in Connecticut. Where's everyone from, man? Tell me where you guys are from. There's a lot of comments down here. We got Brian Hall saying hi to Blackjack Guitar way down here at the bottom of this. Oh, wait, that's not even the bottom of the chat. Here's the very bottom of the chat, and I'm going to say bottom as in the newest. We've got Randy Crookson saying hey to Ryan Hall. Ryan Hall saying hi to him. BC Rich 581. Octopus Ears, of course, here. I should have brought you into the show because there's some things you could talk to us about. Yeah, it's not just metaphysical, not just metaphorically. LOL. We've got, of course, Janice is here, and then we got Guitar Man 45 also here. John Deschain is also here. Poor, sick, or fat. Seems like, yeah, that's the thing, right? Well, not everything, man. Hopefully. Charles 75 and also here, rating from his show, The Guitar Safari. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that if you were in there as well. I didn't have a chance. I had to set this up, and I was trying to eat some of my leftover Chinese breakfast from yesterday's. I'm having Chinese food for breakfast from yesterday's party at my brother's. It's a big birthday party, by the way. We celebrated my birthday, which is coming on Thursday, on the 15th. We celebrated my nephew James's birthday, which is on the 12th. We celebrated my brother Andrew's birthday, which is on the 10th, and my niece's birthday, Becca. I think she's on the 13th. God, I'm so bad. I'm terrible at
13th, my mother.
birthdays. It's insane. Oh wow, that's congratulations. That's awesome. Congratulations, Patty Dill also here. Patty in the chat.
She would have been 103 today.
Wow.
I mean,
How long did she live?
79, 80.
That's pretty good. Yeah, my mom's right around that age now, so I'm worried because she's got all kinds of conditions. I actually just videoed her again of telling me everything that she's taking. So I do that every couple months or so I know what is she on. And I have video of everything that she's taken, and we talk about it and all, and how it's working for her and everything. And that way I have video evidence for some reason. I don't know. Mark's gas station also here. What's up, dude? Lots of people here.
Hi, Don.
Lots of people here. I think that's a lot of Don Dealey. Welcome, Don Dealey. Hello, Patty, he's saying. And then Sean Hockey. What's up, Sean? Hobo Roadie. You rock, dude. You're a rockin' dude. And Mr. Mick also here. Right on. Who else we got? We got Mr. Mick, I think I said. Ron Gunner. Ron Gunner. What's up, Ron? Right on, Ron. I think you were on Johnny's show on last night, right? Isn't that Ron
Several
Gunner?
times.
Several times, because it keeps coming and going, right? Keeps fading in and out. Another Gunner person, Gunnerman 54, I think in Canada, I believe, right? I joke around. I'm sorry. People make fun of hungry a lot too. Like my friend, oh, you're hungry? Huh. You must be hungry if you're Hungarian. And Matt Stewart, my good friend. What's up? At least the clapping thing works.
Are we going to do shirts today?
Shirts, sure. Let's see your shirt. I think it's Zim's, right? Yeah, Zim's guitars. All right, Zim's. Have you gotten anything from Zim's? Did he send you some pics or anything else? Or
he sent me the Glary.
Oh, that's right. And that's when you got that. The signed Glary that we all signed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you should show that. Do you have it?
Again,
handy?
Yeah.
Grab it. That'd be awesome. You guys don't know this story. Back in the day, when there were different people on Johnny's show, that's all right. When there were different people on Johnny's show, he always has different people coming and going. We had this visit that I made to Zim's Guitars all the way out in Mesa, Arizona, while my wife's family was visiting, and we were taking them all around. So we took them down to San Diego. We went to Disney. We went to in LA, of course. I think, did we go to? No, we didn't go to. We went to Disney, and then we went to San Diego. We went to the zoo. We went to the, what's that place called? Marine USA. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, check it out. Does that thing work? Can you play it? Does it play? Is it playable?
You mean like right now?
No, I'm just wondering, is it like a functioning guitar?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Larry. Yeah, $120-something guitar. They sent a bunch of these guitars to Zim's to, like, try out and put on his show or whatever, because he does a YouTube show too. And hey, Mars Man, long time no see, dude. Hope you're doing well. Right on, Mars Man. I haven't seen you in a little while now.
Wow.
Yeah. Hope you're well. Hope you're well. Hope everything is good with you.
The last time I think we saw him was when he was meeting up with Ben Coombs at NAMM.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Right on. Thank you for joining us, man. Yeah. Demos. Contact Professor's demos. Yeah. So yeah, he does a bunch of demos of stuff too. He recently had a huge hitting, like 100,000 something like views, kind of, or more, of his storage experience with his son going into a storage locker that he bought, and a bunch of guitars and stuff. Oh, Octopus Ears just paid $20 for a fret wrap. Yeah, piece of cloth with Velcro. She just went with a piece of foam. Is that what that is on the headstock, Janice?
No, that's
the strap.
It's a strap holder.
Yeah, it's a strap holder.
It's a strap. One of these.
It's like the kind you would use for an acoustic guitar, right? Usually strap it on the neck part.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
What do you
but
call
instead
this?
of putting it there, it's a strap button.
It's a strap button.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this has such terrible dive.
That see, that's a good way to solve that problem. There you go. You go acoustic style. Oh no. Okay,
we talked a couple of times ago about the change purse thing with the
right.
The counterweight.
Just hang your change purse on the back bottom end of the guitar.
Here.
Right. So it's not neck dive, it's body dive.
It's body dive, yeah. I mean, like I can let go of my hands and it doesn't hit me in the face.
Hits you in the face. That's not nice. You need to wear like a fuzzy shirt and get a Velcro strap. That's what I recommend. Anyway.
Oh, cool. Anyway.
I just came up with that idea. I just invented the no way to worry about neck dive or face smash or whatever you call it. Just get a Velcro strap with a fuzzy shirt.
Call that many things.
I don't know what we could call it.
But we're not going to get into that right now.
Well, anyway. So, I don't even know what I was talking about, but I was saying hi to Mars Man. He's good. He says he's good. I'm glad to hear that, man. Right on, dude. You rock, dude. So yeah, so the whole thing about music, sounds, creativity. This video that I watched is one of those that I've seen before. So I studied up on some of this stuff when I was studying psychology, and a lot of it's very fascinating. So I went digging back after some of these videos and stuff, and I could play this entire thing, but it's like an hour long, so I can't do that. So I'm gonna have the link for you guys. It's already in the description if you want to watch this entire PBS Nova program that I clipped this one section out of. And what they're talking about here is what I find really fascinating is, and I'll tell you this story about with my sweetie before we start the video. Um, so she wanted to learn piano. She wanted to learn just to play a couple few songs. And once she learned them, she lost interest. She didn't. I don't know if there's any other songs I want to learn to play. So after that, she stopped playing, and that's that. I mean, I still have the piano sometimes out for her to play and whatnot, but like the one in the studio here is just covered with crap right now. We're gonna rearrange all of this with Octopus Ears and Johnny on Monday, which is gonna be very exciting for me because I got another secret. I got a secret for you guys. It's in this box. At least two of them are already in this. Well, I can't give away too much of the secret. I got this box here, and in this box is going to be part of the new wet, dry, wet system that we're going to have in the studio here, EVH style. That's very, very unique.
Thick.
Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, see that big wide one. Yeah, that works. Yeah, very.
No, it
cool.
doesn't.
Oh, it doesn't. So it doesn't work.
Neoprene and everything.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Velcro shirt, Velcro strap, and a fuzzy shirt.
Yeah.
Get a fuzzy sweater and a Velcro. Stick a couple spots of Velcro on your thing. See if it works.
Good idea.
Just invented it. Anyway, if you want to call that an invention, just an idea.
Anyway, with the singing, I was singing all along before I played the guitar, with all those tapes, the cassette tapes that I was talking about with on Facebook, all the cassettes that I've played all over the years. Like I got like 50 tapes that I have of me singing. But then the minute that I put the guitar on me, I lost all that. So I'm trying to get it back now.
So say that one more time.
What?
So you lost. So you lost what ability?
The ability to sing without playing.
So you can't sing without playing?
Right. But now I'm trying to get back into it now. But
so if you're not playing the guitar,
movement.
if you're not playing the guitar, you can't sing the same song.
It just
Like
it doesn't sound the
Kumbaya,
same.
you can't just start Kumbayaing without playing the guitar to Kumbaya.
I have to have the rhythm with me now.
Wow.
To be able to do this.
Is that
properly.
wild or what? And you know why that is? Because your brains, your synapses, your neural synapses, the way that they've connected that specific way now.
Right.
And about 99% of the rest of the information related to that thing is gone. And now it's got this like hardwired connection. That's why it's so hard to change our behavior when it comes to anything
And I
in
did
life.
change it.
But now you hardwired it to the point where now you can't do it the other way anymore. You're stuck to this one pattern from now on. Right? Fascinating. Isn't that fascinating?
Beat it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat it with that song.
You're gonna beat it with that song. With that song by Michael Jackson. Da, na, 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 na,
I do
da.
that song really good. I do want to be starting something really good.
Yeah.
It's like the Mama Si, Mama Sam, Mama
Mama
Makusa
Makusa,
part.
yeah.
I do. That's wonderful. I do great.
That's funny. I gotta see that version. You gotta do that. That's gonna definitely cause some. Well, probably the way you played it's so different than the actual song that you probably.
I
won't
can't
get
play it though
copyrighted.
because I can't play the
Yeah.
chords.
Yeah. And by the way, there was a very interesting. I'm gonna shout out to the guitarologist who recently put out a very interesting video. Brad, the guitarologist, right? He put up a very interesting video about copyright strike stuff, and you saw that, right? And he was talking about Beato and some of these other people that are kind of scared too. I don't know if Beato's scared to. I think that it just makes sense for him and what he's doing with his channel, and he's made plenty of noise about it. But there's also the threatening fact, like he knows, and everyone else, like they know, that if you try to fight it, it's gonna cause more problems for your video than. And some of these videos are big videos. So it makes it difficult for you as a person trying to fight it. So in other words, YouTube's on the side of the copyright moneymakers rather than on the side of the creators, and that's part of the big problem. And he actually went to Congress about it too. Beato did. So it's not like he hasn't tried to fight this in his own way. He's put plenty
Right.
of time, money, and effort
That's
into this, you know.
that's love that it is the
But
one
outside of that,
that I want to put out. I want to put on YouTube, but it's I have to use
hey
the
Presley.
I have to use the record, and
Hmm.
I'm scared to do that. But Preston Smith does it all the time.
Right?
So, but he gets blocked all the time,
Yeah.
and blocked in certain countries and stuff like that. And I'm kind of afraid of that.
Yeah, some of the things are just not worth fighting because you can try to fight some things, and one of the things I see people is right at the beginning of their description, almost in the heading of their show, they say
I
fair
don't know the rights.
use. I'm reviewing this song. I'm not trying to make money off the song, doing a copyright, uh a version of it, like, I'm doing this for the purposes of education or for the purposes of reviewing and stuff. And so in that sense, we do have the right in what he was talking about. But I thought that was very interesting, and I always appreciate when it comes to some of these topics that
Do you
Brad has,
know? Have you seen his?
fighting as the independent kind of minded person out
Have
there
you seen
fighting.
him do his covers, the Tool covers with this band that
Mm-mm.
is in the background, and he puts up the video, and then he sings
Hey,
Tool
Mike.
songs.
No,
How he
no, I
sings.
I have so little time
Oh my
for
God! See,
watching a
that's what
lot
I
of other
want to do
people's
with this
stuff.
one
Yeah,
particular song, but it's got to be
okay,
the original song by
cool.
the original artist, and I really want to be able to reach out to the Blamage people to
The
be able
problem
to
is
get
you could
permission.
reach out to them. Part of what Brad was talking about is that you can reach out to them. You can even get permission. People get copyright strikes on their very own music,
Right.
because there are these scammers out there that now found out a way that, hey, we can claim these things and get money from YouTube claiming things, because people on YouTube are too scared to fight it, and they might not even be the people that actually own the copyrights, and YouTube is still paying them or something like that, because they're scamming. It's another scam bot kind of thing where someone's created using AI or whatever, some kind of a bot out there to yeah, Leland Skylar's gets strikes against him on, because there are scammers out there pretending to be lawyers or whoever, and they're going after the easy free money that's in YouTube, because you've got millions of people putting up stuff, and they just create a bot and they make free money by just going after people. And if you fight it and challenge them, it takes about 2 or 3 challenges to challenge them, to win. But oh shoot, this thing has to be falling down right now. I bumped it and then suddenly it wants to fall. Okay. But it's like these things have a lot to do with, there's some unscrupulous people out there taking advantage of the system, right?
Right.
And so there's that too. Yeah. Yeah, Brad's a great singer as
Yeah,
well.
the problem is that
Guitar
I really
picker.
want to get this song out. I really want, because I'm really
Hmm.
proud of the way that I'm doing it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
And
about that is that it might be worth it if you want to, for yourself, to do it. Keep it private if you want to. Put it on YouTube as a private thing that you can share to people that you send the link to, if you want to share it.
yeah, but in
YouTube,
order to get the link, you have to have their email address.
right? Well, not necessarily. You can send it to
Oh, yes,
people
it
like through
is.
WhatsApp. You can send it. No, you can. What I'm saying, Janice, is you can create the video on YouTube, but keep the video private, and then share the link to people through Messenger, through any
Are you
other server.
sure?
Yeah, I can send you a link right now that from any YouTube video I have, I can have anything private that I want to, and I can send you that video, because I've created stuff for other people that like my sweetie had to do stuff for her school, for her Montessori school, and we created a video of singing or songs or something, and then we don't put it on YouTube for everyone. We just keep it private, and then we share that link to that private message to the people we want to share it to, and they can open it because they
How
have
about
that link.
Discord? How about Discord?
Yeah, you can do that. You
You
can do
can?
that. Yeah, because if you're putting it up live, and then the whole world can see it, because it's live to the whole world, right? It's not it's public. If you put it up public to the world, then they come after you. But if it's a private link, no one can see it. Only the ones that you send it to. So you can create your own private group of people and send it to the people you want to send it to. But the problem can be is if it gets onto Facebook or gets somewhere else where like Meta, they're data mining. These are people data mining. They're gonna go after they find it or hear it and they and then they come after you. But if they can't find it on YouTube, they would have to have the link. If someone else would have to share that link, and so you could just send it to people and say, just don't share this link because I don't want to have a copyright strike problem or whatever. Or you can just fight it. When you get the
Yeah, but
strike, you fight it. You
I
know,
don't understand how I read all the rules and
basically the way it
none of
works
them say
is
that
that
you
if
could
you
just do
fight
it.
it, basically, if they win at the end of the you're fighting it or whatever, then it becomes an actual strike, and you can only have 3 strikes, and then you have problems. The other problem with it, and why Beato and these other people don't want to mess with it, is because once you start disputing it, immediately YouTube starts to like not share your channel as much. It's almost like you get blacklisted, kind of.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because there's a copyright strike and or a copyright claim, and now you're fighting the claim. Suddenly they blacklist you, like, oh, we're not gonna share this channel now because there's too many copyright problems with them, and we don't want trouble. So then they stop showing it, you know, around. Stop sharing it, right? So that's part of the issue.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, let's go right into this. Back to off of Brad's thing. But I thought that was interesting to share to you all that are making content or whatever you want to call it. That's one pitfall of covering other people's music that created music that they own or somebody else owns, and now there's a lot of conglomerates and other people that own. Yeah, right. YouTube can shadow ban, right, your channel. That's right. And so the scary part is that you don't want all the work and time and effort you put into something like Rick Beato's. His whole life is YouTube now, right? Um, what happens if they all of a sudden just say goodbye bye? And that's why I was saying what's smart about what Johnny's doing. And it was cool of Phil McKnight to shout out Johnny, by the way, in his channel. That was cool on Friday's show. I finally got to listen to that whole thing late last night before falling asleep. But what's funny, Johnny's been around for a while, so he might not have the most subscribers, right? He's got 10,000. He's almost at 10. Well, I
Yeah.
think he broke 10,000 now because Phil shouted him out and got him 20 more. So I'm about 20 subs away from hitting. Let's see, where am I at? Yeah, I'm at 690. You guys, I'm 10 away from 700. So if you guys can help me get 10 more people before my birthday, I'm going to do a giveaway on my birthday next Thursday. It's my birthday, and that's when my show's going to be Thursday night. And my sweetie offered to take me out for a early dinner so we can get home in time for me to do my show. So she's being really cool about that, and she's very supportive. I'm a very lucky guy.
That's
I
nice.
get away with a lot. Anyway, nothing bad, but I get away with a lot of time that I put into this stuff that I think is very valuable to a lot of people. I think it's helpful, and that's why I'm doing it. I think I'm really enjoying it too. Don't get me wrong. I'm doing it for me too. I'm not gonna lie. But like buying some of this gear, I probably would not have bought this SD3000 EVH dual pedal thing if I didn't have YouTube, because I'd be like, what am I gonna use that for? But I'm doing it because it's so cool and it sounds great, and I want to share it with you guys. And it's the excitement of sharing something with you that's cool. That's part of the gas, right?
But if it's part of your job, I
We're
mean,
all in
like
it together.
it's like a business
It is, but I'm
expense.
I'm not. It's not a business because I'm not making
I
money at it
know.
enough to even call it a business yet. Maybe
So make
someday.
yourself an
I'm
LLC or
hoping.
something like that.
Oh, you're gonna sub me on your wife's channel, right on, William De Silva. Yeah, everyone, if you've got other people's channels or you've got like some shadow channels, go ahead and double up, sub me up or whatever. Even though I think that's a lame way of doing it, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say anything negative about when people say, oh, hit the refresh like what Johnny does, or let's get extra views. He's just playing the game that YouTube has created for channels to have to hop through these loops. So he's just playing the game that you have to play. So he's smart enough to do that. But at the same time, there's the other side of me that says, look, if it's not a real person, oh, there he is, Fawn De Silva. Hey now, thank you, Fawn, for joining. All right.
Great name.
Yeah, that
I love
that is
that.
such a unique name. Isn't that a beautiful name? Fawn. You know when the last time I heard a girl's name was Fawn? Wasn't it the girl in that the guy went to date, pick up at the sorority from Animal House? He went to pick up this girl and he's whistling in the hall there in the entry hall. He's whistling, trying to be like he's like sophisticated, singing like some kind of like classical tune, Tchaikovsky or whatever it is, right?
What a beautiful bird. I
Yeah,
guess I
fun.
guess fawn is better than gone.
Dawn, yeah, dawn
Fawn
is
is better than gone.
then gone, then gong fall. Gone. We're not gonna go there. All right, all right. Anyway, you guys don't know, but Janice is in love with gong fall. All right, it's out. Anyway, but yeah, let's should we do this? Should we go into this video thing? I promised my sweetie I will end at 11. So just like the volume and the gain and the treble and the middle and the bass goes to 11, we're going till 11, and then after that it's over because I got a lot of stuff to do.
That's really timed, right?
Yeah, that's funny. Dimed to 11.
Yeah. The things you learn on YouTube.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and show this clip, you guys. I'm going to add this to the stream here, and this is from the let me remove this so it's not hiding it. So this is from the PBS Nova program, and the program is, I think it's called "Who's in Control," something like that, something about your brain. So let's go ahead and start this, and then we'll talk a little bit more about this stuff.
So what does improvisation or spontaneous
hear it all right?
creativity look like in the brain?
What we found was that the prefrontal cortex that appears to be linked to effortful self-monitoring seemed to be turning off, deactivating in a pretty intense way in these highly trained professional musicians when they start improvising.
So in some sense, by letting go, by decreasing activation in the prefrontal cortex, we can sort of gain control of our lives in a way.
In fact, if you're too self-conscious and you're unable to relax and let go, you can't do something like this. When you start trying to put conscious control mechanism, your performance goes down.
So would you say this goes to any activity, really? If you're a professional tennis player, or if you're trying to do a physical activity, that the more you're able to practice letting go, once you've learned the skill, the better you'll be.
Exactly. Free throw shooters that are able.
So what does improvisation or spontaneous creativity look like in the brain?
So that was a clip that I put in. Let me remove that. But there's some parts of this that I thought would be interesting for you guys to hear too. So I'm going to go to the beginning.
I would like to watch the whole thing at some point.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to bring it to this one point. Okay. Here we go. You see that?
There are some situations where letting go of conscious control can have amazing results.
I'll jump out again. I'll be right back.
When you're playing the blues, you have this kind of well-known musical structure, this template, and then you use that as a launch pad for improvisation and for innovation and for new ideas.
Charles Lim is a neuroscientist trying to understand how our brain operates when we are being truly creative.
It's going to be ill in the MRI. It's Dr. E freestyle.
And today, he's using a scanner to peer into the brain of educator and freestyle rapper Chris Emdin.
I wonder if I'm going to saying as I'm freestyling, profiling, still wilding. It's going to be ill.
You ready for me? Okay, remember, keep your head still during the entire thing and try not to move your feet or your hands at all during the rapping.
All right, do the best I can.
Yeah, awesome, thank you.
First, Charles asks Chris to perform a memorized piece.
Now that memory means you're gonna do the memorized lyrics the way you originally wrote them, okay?
Okay.
Memory.
I'm a physicist, lyricist, spitting this ridiculousness, so witness the ignorance I dismiss. Knows those emotionless, the topic of the course. Staying motionless to hit a balance force.
Next, he gives him a prompt and asks him to improvise. to create a new original piece on the spot.
He doesn't know what's coming.
Mhm.
And that's going to be his cues for that.
Freestyle, physicists, lyricists, MCs like this will always be kicking this. After all the bad, it'll all be over. Lucky like I picked up all the clover. Can't move my shoulders because the MRI machine won't let me do it. But you want to know what it is that it's like. I'm like a baseball player the way I strike with the raps.
He's good.
So, what does improvisation or spontaneous creativity look like in the brain?
What we found was that the prefrontal cortex that appears to be linked to effortful self-monitoring seemed to be turning off, deactivating in a pretty intense way in these highly trained professional musicians when they start improvising.
So, in some sense, by letting go, by decreasing activation in the prefrontal cortex, we can sort of gain control of our lives in a way.
In fact, if you're too self-conscious and you're unable to relax and let go, you can't do something like this. When you start trying to put conscious control mechanism, your performance goes down.
So would
get
you say
worse.
this goes to any activity, really? If you're a professional tennis player, or if you're trying to do a physical activity, that the more you're able to practice letting go, once you've learned the skill, the better you'll be.
Exactly. Free throw shooters that are able to shoot 99% free throws, all of a sudden, when you tell them you're going to get $1 million if you make the next one, then all of a sudden you inject conscious control over something that's much better just left to its own subconsciousness, and then your performance gets worse and you're more likely to choke.
Surprisingly, the parts of your brain that are usually in control can get in your way. Your prefrontal cortex, the decision maker, can make you overthink something you've done 1,000 times.
Freestyle, stay. Yes, you want me to stay. Relax, but I will never play.
Every human being is creative. Whether they're creative artistically or not is another question, but we're all creative. We have to be, because all day long we're doing unscripted things that we didn't know we would be doing. Life is not scripted. And so no matter who you are in this world, you're doing things that are unplanned.
All day long, we're balancing forces that push us around, even if we're not aware of them. From past trauma to the emotions of others and all the hidden forces affecting your brain.
I'd like to believe that I am in charge of my life, that I am the agent of my life, that I actually can control my emotions, my abilities, my desires. And the more I learn about brains, the more I realize that this is probably not true.
We can be influenced by our social networks, by our culture, by our genetics, by our development, by our childhood.
All right, here's another
Each of us
section
has
of
a
this.
sense that we're a unitary being, but actually that belies the fact that each of us, each of our minds, is actually composed of lots of different pieces that are doing different things. And different information can be represented in different parts of that machinery. And so a search for where am I in all of this is a little bit misguided, because the I is not such a unitary thing in the first place.
This is very
That
fascinating.
feeling of unity of me is actually distributed across almost 90 billion neurons. This illusion that there's a single person inside our skulls.
Inside your brain are over 100 distinct regions. Many different systems in the brain control what you do, from movement to vision to speech, and even social interaction.
I think most human beings like to believe that their mind is under their own control. If I want to, I can stand up right now. I can do that. And that gives me, I think, the false belief that everything I do has been chosen by me. And if there is a story from the brain to tell, it is that we are quite wrong.
Not only are there multiple parts of your brain influencing you, but there are things in the world around you that influence your brain, including other people.
How we act and who we are in our lives is hugely determined by the expectations of the people around us.
The brain helps us be the most social species on the planet. A lot of our brains are devoted to understanding other people.
Our brain doesn't operate in isolation. We constantly learn, take, compare to other brains.
Our brains have evolved to be able to effortlessly reason about other people. And emotions, similarly, have evolved as ways that guide our behavior.
So how exactly do emotions and the emotions of others influence our brains? Neuroscientist Luke Chang studies how emotions like greed and guilt affect our decision-making.
Hey, Grace, we're going to start up the scout. Okay. Go ahead and make your decision.
Okay, you tell her to go.
Yep, you can hit next.
So what are you guys looking at here? What's the study about?
So she's playing an investment game
Okay.
with another participant who's outside the scanner.
Luke scans the brains of study participants while they play a game from behavioral economics called the trust game.
This is a cooperative game where one person has some sum of money and they can choose to invest any amount of that money in their partner.
That investment grows. So then the study participant has to decide. They could be greedy and keep all the money, or they could be generous and give some of the investment back.
We've always been really interested in why do people return the money when they don't have to? And guilt provides one plausible mechanism that might be driving their behavior to act cooperatively in this game.
So you're balancing and making these decisions between getting that kind of dopamine reward hit from being a little selfish versus being balanced by those feelings of maybe guilt when you're not cooperating or helping somebody else out.
And the brain scans reveal which parts of the brain are most active when someone is feeling guilt.
Those regions ended up being something called the insula. Signals about having this gut feeling that maybe this isn't a good idea or I'd feel really bad if I did that. Those are the signals that are originating from the insula that allow us to make decisions to avoid harming someone else.
Luke likes to think of it kind of like a thermometer and a thermostat.
If you try to think about how a thermostat might be mapped onto the brain, one region might be more like the thermometer detecting the ambient temperature in the room.
When it comes to reading the room, our brain's thermometer seems to be the insula.
But all that information needs to go somewhere else and be integrated with other types of information.
That's our brain's thermostat, a region located inside the prefrontal cortex that processes our emotions and helps regulate our behavior.
So I'm going to stop right there, you guys, because there's one other section that I wanted to play for you that I think is not so technical and a little bit more interesting in the sense that it's a little bit forward from this, about, let's see, I'll get it right there. It's about right there. A little bit further last. How much do we control our brain? There we go. All right, here we go. How much control we really have.
Agent is somebody that is the author of their own story. But actually, most of what's happening in our brain, we are not conscious of. And I think this gets you starting to think, wait a minute, is really everything under my control?
Neuroscientist Uri Maus is putting our sense of control to the test. We feel like we're in control, but where exactly does that feeling come from? And how does it work?
Ah, there you are. Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us agentically and out of your own volition.
Of course.
Before we start, let me give you this envelope.
Okay.
Please don't let anybody touch it and don't look inside, but we'll need it for later on.
For later, okay.
To show me how my sense of control isn't always what it seems, Uri kicked things off by trying to get me to question my ability to choose by using a magic trick.
So, where would you like to sit?
Where would I like to?
It's really up to you.
It's really, I have a choice?
This is crazy. You guys won't believe all
All right, so
this.
I'm going to sit here.
You're going to sit over there? Okay.
Yes.
So, how about just before you sit down, if you don't mind, let's see what this says.
Oh my God. Okay.
So
then that one obviously says the same thing, right? No.
Let's check and see what this one says. This one says...
Oh, come on.
Okay.
So I'm that predictable? You don't even know me yet.
I really don't know how he did that. I'm not totally convinced, but I'm starting to question, how do I know when I have made a decision?
If I may, let me give you, as a present, a book. Here you go. This is yours. And I will just ask you to leaf through it and find a word that has some meaning for you.
All right, I got it.
Can you tell me what the word is?
Representation.
Please write the word down, representation, and just stick that sticky note somewhere in that page. Yeah,
okay.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll come back to that later.
This is so crazy.
But for now, I'm starting to see how choice and agency aren't always so straightforward. So to find out what's actually going on in the brain when our sense of control is in question, I took a look at a trial designed by postdoctoral researcher Alice Wong. A volunteer from the lab, Tomasz, is being fitted with a transcranial magnetic stimulation device, TMS for short. It generates a strong magnetic field that can send signals to your brain.
The idea is that you stimulate the brain using a focused magnetic field. And if you stimulate that in the right part of the motor cortex, that's a part of the brain that actually controls your fingers. It's like you're pulling on a string here. Every time you pull it, the finger goes.
With the device hooked up, the researchers can make his finger jump involuntarily by sending a signal to his motor cortex.
We're gonna be locating the spot of your motor cortex that moves one of your fingers. How about that?
That works. That was a pinky movement up.
Okay.
So I'm going to pause it for a second and fast forward because this is interesting, but it's not as interesting as the ending part here, and we're limited to time, so I'm going to skip forward. And basically what they find out through this is that when he tells them he's moving his finger, when he tells them he's controlling it, he's wrong. And there are times when he's actually not doing the controlling. And it's really crazy weird, but let's go to this
in
part
that
here.
book, you open it to whatever page you wanted, and you found a word in there. Can you tell us again what that word was?
Yes, it was on page 105, and the word was representation.
Representation. Okay, so if you don't mind just putting the book aside, and if you could take the envelope out now.
Okay.
Can you open it and see what's inside,
Oh, this
please?
is one of these things that's going to freak me out, right?
Let's see.
I'm getting chills. Come on. No way. Come on. No, seriously. That's really freaky.
So you're in control, right?
I don't know how you did that. That is really weird. I mean, what do I do now? I don't know where to what do I do with that?
Uri's magic acts are tricks, sleights of hand and misdirection. But when I saw what was written on the card, I have to admit, I wondered if my choices mattered at all.
Let me do this.
Alice Wong's experiment supports the idea that it isn't just about what happens in the brain at the moment a decision is made.
How did you do that?
Your sense of agency or control also has to do with feedback you get after the decision, physical, social, and emotional.
I think of agency as a sense. So there is a sense of agency that sometimes can get disrupted, perhaps, just like you have a sense of sight or smell and so on. Sometimes you have visual illusions. It's similar with a sense of agency. I can manipulate your sense of agency, but that doesn't mean that we never have a sense of agency.
Your brain is a meaning maker machine, and creating a sense of agency is one of the ways it makes meaning out of your daily life.
There is no way in which I can operate without understanding what is happening and why I'm doing it. It's the filling in of the blanks that is necessary in some ways for survival, to give meaning, to make sense of the cause and effect of things.
Perhaps we have that feeling of consciousness because it gives me a sense of agency. It allows me to pretend like I'm the one making decisions and I'm the one reaping the rewards or the failures of that particular decision.
There are parts of the brain that allow you to feel like the author of your own life. But that's only part of the story.
Each of our minds is actually composed of lots of different pieces that are doing different things.
This illusion that there's a single person inside our skulls.
We know how environment and how traumatic events change
people.
Our brains are in detail influenced by the expectations of the people around us.
But of course, most of our brain activity is unconscious.
And then we get right back to that part there where we talk about music and stuff. Wrong button, Laz. All right. Anyway, a lot of sciencey stuff, I know. But it was really, really cool. I hope you guys learned something from that. What I take away from that and what I think is really, helpful, especially as a musician and somebody who wants to be a creator, is that it really does matter a lot to have the practice of, like, let's say piano or guitar or whatever, what you're playing on the guitar, the notes, like Johnny, do you know a C chord or whatever? I know chords, but I don't know what they're called. He's so trained already, has learned already so much about the guitar, the fretboard, and where his fingers are and what they're doing, that he can improvise and be creative in a much higher level than I can, because of that already prior established knowledge that he can then just let go into and let the music and whatever come out of him. The big questions about where does that music come from, that's bouncing around in that brain there, affected by all the other things that have been memorized and saved, or maybe it's just in the back of your mind. Or sometimes you write a song and someone says, hey, that's this song, and you're like, oh dang, I wrote a song that I thought I wrote, but actually it's somebody else's song.
That's
or maybe
why I
it's
try not to stay away. That's why I try to stay away from some songs.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, Edward Van Halen talked about that he doesn't really listen to a lot of other people's music. He would be heard interviewing, because he'd already listened to a lot of, but a lot of times when he's writing or he's creating, he's trying to get out of that being in his head. He's trying to let whatever he's got going on. And he would say, like, when he's most at ease and, free thinking and not stressed, is why he set up a recording setup in his bathroom. Because I guess it might have been the one place where he can escape to. My mom used to tell me this all the time. She used to escape to the bathroom to read, because that was the only place where she could get peace and quiet from her noisy, boisterous family, to get away from them. Hey, what's up, metalhead hippie? Get away from everyone and be able to read.
I did, in the basement, in my bathroom. I mean.
There you go. And that's because that's when you feel at ease. When you're at ease, And I had an interesting conversation with my. Yeah, right. Well, that might have something to do with it too, because it sounds bigger, and your voice doesn't sound like this, but it sounds bigger.
You're hitting the tub, hitting it back to you.
Right, you got reflection and reverb going on, so it sounds like, it sounds better to your ear because it's bigger. It's not just the sound in your head or between your ears right here. When you put your hand over your ears and you sing, it's different than when you don't have that, And some people do that so they can hear themselves better. You see musicians doing that in the studio all the time, right? So they can hear that they're hitting the notes right or not. Well, yeah, people like, Tommy Emmanuel didn't pop out of the womb playing guitar, and that's because he's practiced at a lot of those things, but then he can just improvise on the fly, something like that. And how many of us, people who play and write, music or play instruments, how many of us have come up with a riff or a sound or a song or something? We forget it. Oh, I have a great idea for a song. Oh, what was it? And you forget it. Unless then you take that conscious mind side and then you start to build on it and create something out of it. So there's a give and take. There's a push and pull of sorts going on between the conscious and the subconscious mind. And having a talent for, or finding, maybe it's not even a talent as much as finding a way to develop the skill to be able to use that and find that ability to control that conflict in a way, or not even control. See these words, control. Finding a way where you can tap into that, if you can develop that skill of that push and pull between the conscious and the subconscious, is I think a very big part of what makes, say, a hit writing song maker or a producer or anything like that over time, over and over again, successful. And also tapping into the society, the culture, the people that are listening to the music. What draws them in? What will they like? Will they like this? Oh, I don't think they're gonna like that. We're gonna have to do that, and that's all in your subconscious too. That social interactions, a huge part of being human. But the whole question in my, like, the the beginning of my thumbnail and all the title and everything about who's in control, is that it's not just you, the conscious person you think you are, that's in control. There's a lot of things in epigenetics I've spoken about before, which happens to do with like the talent thing that we talked about, Janice. Like, you might have an innate ability that some people don't have because it's innate through your genetic structure, because of in your family's gene pool or whatever, and your environment obviously is going to affect that, and all these things around us, right? So we're past the hour already, but I wanted to just say that I'm glad that I had the chance to do this show and share this with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, and let me know. Don't forget to hit that like button. Of course, share the videos. Like I said, I'm trying to get to 1,000 at the end of the year, and we're getting more and more subs, which is really great. And the only reason why, what's that?
Aren't we all?
Yeah, and the only reason why 1,000 matters to me so much, you guys, it's not just about monetizing the channel or something like that, but it is. I'd like to do more of this and do it more on a higher quality level. There have been some people that have commented that, hey, Laz, I was expecting a stereo version of that, left wet, dry, wet thing, and I got nothing. And Johnny warned everyone at the beginning, it's not going to sound good, but we're going to have him and Octopus Ears over here tomorrow. You guys are going to be helping me set that up, because it's just a matter of time sometimes to get all this stuff done and hooked up with all the other things going on in life. And it really didn't help that earlier in the week my van, the Franken van, it was like a breakdown. It just wouldn't start. I think it's the fuel pump that's probably bad on it. It's an old vehicle, all these things are breaking down on it. But I lost 2 days out of my week, which is a lot of time to lose, that you have to make up for. And so I wasn't able to do what I wanted to on that Thursday show that I would have liked to have with the SD 3000 EVH, So thankfully I have good friends like Johnny and Octopus Series who are living nearby that can come over and then dig into this video, you guys. I put the in the description. I put that into the description so you can click on that. I did a pretty lengthy description of the show too, or what I was hoping to talk about today. I hope I hit everything there. And tell me your thoughts about this stuff, and share some of your experiences with music and memory. How one of the things I didn't talk about even was about how using music helps you memorize things. Using music to calm your mind can help you test better, test scores. If you're studying for exams right now and you're out there,
I memorize nothing.
Well, that's what you think. But do you, Janice? The brain. You think you're in control. But yeah, it's all very interesting.
I feel like I have no business memorizing something that's not my own thing.
Yeah, well,
that's their thing. I just keep it on the paper.
There you go. So hope you guys learned something from this. I'm glad you were here to tell me. I didn't know that you just started singing and playing guitar all at the same time. So that's an interesting way to approach that.
Well, I was singing first, but then
right.
Putting the guitar to it was easy.
But now you can't just sing without the guitar.
No, yeah.
So you can't sing a song right now. There's not a single song that you can think of in your mind right now that you can just start singing.
Well, one, but that would I can't.
Copyright strike. All right. So well, thanks for coming, you guys. Thanks, Ryan Hall.
Yeah, it to you.
Ryan and I chatted quite a bit during the week last week for over an hour or more. I think we had a really nice conversation. He told me some stories of his life, and it's fascinating. Some of us are so lucky to still be here and still alive, and we're here for a reason, Ryan. So I know you're going through a lot of pain, and there are a lot of things that you're dealing with, not just physically but emotionally as well, I'm sure. And I'm glad that we found you and you found us, and we're here, supporting each other, because that's really what it's all about. And Metalhead Hippie's looking for more music, so if you got some music you want to put up on Metalhead Hippie's show, go to him. And then there's Johnny Bean from Santa Cruz.
Johnny.
Right on, Johnny. Thanks for joining, man. I'm glad you're doing well, and you're on fire. Guitar's on fire? Okay. Hopefully there's no fire. Just kidding. I gotta get a new battery for this thing. I think I have some somewhere. I gotta find it amongst all the stuff piling up around here. So right on, man. Thanks, Ryan. And I'll try to get those packages out this week. It's just this last week. Again, I don't have free time. I really don't. Well, yesterday was the closest thing to free time I had. because I was at family birthday party where we celebrated all our birthdays, and I got home and basically started falling asleep as soon as I got home. But that's all part of having balance in life too, right? Super important. So until next time, you guys, thank you, Janice, for co-hosting, the hostess with the mostest, right?
You're
I didn't
welcome.
share
I
my
enjoyed
shirt.
it.
I forgot to share my shirt.
Oh, nice.
Nam the Nam Show. So I'm wearing a Nam Show shirt. Anyway, until next time, you guys. Yeah, right on, dude. Thanks, Ryan. You rock. I got to get yours too. Yeah. We're sending stuff to each other. So until next time, you guys, I guess this tonight is Johnny Bean's SMR show. It's ASMR. What does ASMR stand for? And so more I don't know. But anyway.
More riffs.
And so more riffs. All right. And so more riffs. No, makes no sense at all. But yeah. I'm sure there's the reason behind it all. And watch Johnny's show. Watch Janice's videos that she posts. Go check out Metalhead Hippies show because this show rocks. I hardly ever have time for this stuff. I wish I had more time for
too.
it. And yeah, I mean, I haven't even caught Johnny's Saturday show yet. So I was trying to watch the Friday one or listen to it or whatever. And some of these you want to watch it, but I don't have time to watch it, you know. And I just barely caught some of RJ's show yesterday morning, RJ Ronquillo show, which I love him too. I have him on my description because he's so cool. Great slide guitar course there that he does. It's really, really good.
I have to check him out sometime.
Yeah. And some more riffs. Some more riffs. There we go. ASMR. Thank you, L&M Guitar Corner. That's probably Lucas. Very bright young man. Rock on, you guys. All right, until next time, be good or be good at it.
See you all soon. I'm sure.
Don't forget that the secret to tone is in your mind. We're talking about the mind and stuff, right? But the feel, where does that come from? It comes from the heart, right? Well, that's also in your mind. Put them together and rock on with your friends and your gear and whatnot. And we'll see you in the chats.
Ciao, dude.
Ciao. There's a button. There's another button here. I think it's this one right here. This one. Oh, the battery's dying. Laters.